So I'm going to produce some music that will be suitable for a video where there's a manhunt or a pursuit. Now the object here really is to be able to sell this music to someone who's making videos on that subject, and then to reinvest that money that we earn back into buying more equipment. So this is in our range of videos, which is specifically for those on a tight budget. So all we'll be using to make the video is a very basic mobile phone and some almost free software called Remix Live. So the first thing I'd like to do in this video is run through how I made this track. And then at the end of the video, I'd like to run through why I made the track, and most importantly, how I'm going to make some income from the track. So I'm about to run through the top 5 tips for sync music and sync library music. If you've already seen them, watch this video instead. So if you hadn't guessed already, what we're doing here is making sync music. Now this is very different than making music, say, for Spotify. If you're making your own music for Spotify, you may be looking to make 10, 12 tracks for an album to release on Spotify, where with sync music, we're looking to make generic music to support a video of some kind, and we're looking to make at least 200 tracks before we start to see any income, really. So if you're typically taking 5 days to make some of your own music for an album, then you'd be looking to reverse that really and make at least 5 tracks a day for sync music. So here's the first tip for making sync music. Always start off with a brief in mind. Now, generally, when you're making for a sync library, you don't know who the customer is going to be, what they're going to use the video for. But it's important in your mind that you have a scenario in mind, you have a video in mind, and then you make the track to that video. So my second tip is not to spend a huge amount of time on sample selection or developing your own sounds for sync music. Because really we are looking to produce a couple of hundred tracks. If you need to do that, say in a 3 to 6 month period to start generating some income, then developing your own samples is probably not the way to go. You won't have enough hours in the day to do that. And the third tip is to make sure that you produce a range of music. Now, you as an individual have a preference for a certain style of music. However, when you're looking to make 200 tracks, you don't really want to make 200 tracks within exactly the same genre with a similar feel, because what you're looking to do is broaden your audience, really. So making different types of music for different types of scenarios, always having that video in mind of who's going to buy the track and what they're going to use it for. So my fourth tip is about selecting the right sync library. Now, there are many sync libraries out there. And if you are starting out, I would pick one of the larger sync libraries with a broad audience before you find a niche. And at that point, when you've got a body of work, you can approach some of the more specialist sync libraries who might work harder, shall we say, to try and get you placements on different videos. And my fifth tip is to ensure that your music always plays the supporting role. The lead should be played by the video that your music is supporting.